probably a good thing they didn't know who they were. I would be so stressed out up there.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight the stars and cars of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup are going to be taking on the Milwaukee Mile, West Allis, Wisconsin. Place that is absolutely fantastic, but before we talk about that, well, first we'll show you the graphic and tell you who the heck we are. But it is May, the most glorious month of the year, kicked off with a pretty exciting race today for the NASCAR Cup Series out at Dover Motor Speedway, is now the proper name. However, tonight we are talking about the Milwaukee Mile, West Allis, Wisconsin, 1.015 miles, 9.25 degrees. I asked this question to the drivers beforehand. Nobody had a clue. Scott Pruitt holds the track record here. 21.519 seconds in a 1998 Cart Reynard 97i.
So it's a 97 car that he carted around the speedway in 98.
Yes, that is correct. By the way, my name's Chris Graham, joined in the booth by Patrick Byrne. You know the names. We're ready to go, man. Qualifying is just getting underway here at Milwaukee. And we're going to get all the graphics and stuff fired up here. We'll pick up Derek Love, who will be the first of the drivers, I think, that we're going to get to see to get a decent camera shot on here. There's D Love heading off towards turn number 1. Brandon Buckberger absolutely flying around this place. 27.286. Oh, buddy, Tracy Petter going new fastest. Lap 27.212. 27.286 the lap time for Buckberger. See what Derek Love's going to be able to do as he comes across the start-finish line. New quick time, 27.184 seconds for Derek Love. That car's flying. Let's pick up James Watson making his way out onto the racetrack. He's only coming out for the warm-up lap. Let's find Ben Carswell first. Tracy Petter again going new fastest lap of the race. Well, I guess new fastest lap of the session anyway. But Derek Love only 1/100th of a second back. Buckberger going to be 65 thousandths back. You got to go all the way back to 4th place. Brian Elmore to pick up a 10th of a second. Carswell, a little bit of a wiggle here off of turn number 4. He's going to slot in 9th quick. I'll tell you what, Patrick, one of these things about Milwaukee, you are just going to have to be on the bottom of the racetrack, and you're going to have to control the race car. You can't burn the tires off of these things. It really is going to be a almost, I don't want to say a race of attrition, but a race of who's going to be able to save their stuff the best.
Yeah, New Hampshire Motor Speedway is almost a carbon copy of this track, except for one thing. This track is almost dead flat the whole way around. New Hampshire at least has a little bit of banking. It makes that third line a little faster, but here you don't have that. So you really have to rest the car on the bottom and try and get it to turn. Try and force it to turn, because there's no banking to help you along in the corners. You really have to back the car down and take the corners nice and slow.
Yeah, 9.25 degrees of banking. 13 minutes more banking than the corners at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. New quick time, Josh Batista to the top of the board, 27.140 seconds. Off of turn number 4 is going to come Zach Nurnberger. Let's also pick up James Watson off of turn number 4. Lap number 1 was quick, good for 4th fastest. Lap number 2 will be no good. Shows as a did not score on lap number 2 for James Watson. So we'll pick up Zach Nurnberger. Down to 45 seconds. Not much time to get out there if you want to try to get a single lap in the books. Robert Reynolds, Derek Watson, and Steven Protzman look like they will not get a lap in the books here, as we are down to 30 seconds remaining in qualifications. Watson's still turning laps out here, though, so we'll keep an eye on him as we wait for the clock to run out here. But it will be Josh Batista picking up the pole for tonight's race. And it's coming back. I don't think the Silver Crown guys know about the grid walk yet, but they're about to find out.
Ooh. Who do we pull in? Bunch of guys down there. That could be great interviews.
I was going to say, we've got a few that will be some interesting interviews here, I think. Let's first see who's going to drop in here first. Let's see. We'll pick up Stephen C. Thompson. Let's bring up the starting grid, and first victim on the grid walk here this evening. Well, let's see. Hold on. First, we got to get qualifying up so we can show you the gap times here. First victim, I think, will be our pole sitter, Josh Batista. We're doing the grid walk here. New thing we're doing. What are you thinking here? The car was really quick there in qualifying.
I ain't gonna lie, I pulled that lap out of my ass. I'm just gonna pray that I can keep it up here. That's all I'm gonna try to do here.
Well, starting inside of row 1's a good spot to do it, especially at a place that's going to be kind of race to the bottom.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna be a one-lane race, I think, tonight. So we'll see what happens here.
All right, buddy. Josh, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in. Let's pick on Ben Carswell. Get him up here into the booth as well. Good Lord, I'm choking on myself. Ben, what are you thinking here tonight, Ben? Phrasing. Nailed it.
Phrasing, yeah. I'm thinking I wish I'd qualified higher. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be a tire conservation run again, and an effort to not spin off of 2. There's a little dip in 4 where you can kind of hook the car and get a great run off the corner and really put the throttle down, but that doesn't exist off of 2. And it's really easy to rev it too hard. You just spin the tires and die. So careful off 2. try not to spin. Don't miss the apex, because if you miss the apex, you're going to lose a second. Yeah, it's a very technical track, and it's going to require a lot of concentration and skill.
All right, buddy. Thank you much. That's all right. We didn't want to hear. Yeah, let's bring up Zach Alfalfa Scott Nicky in on the grid walk as well here, as we are on the pace lap already. But Zach, what are you thinking here tonight, bud?
I'm thinking I got past a lot of cars here.
Yeah, you got a ways to go. Let's see, going to be starting in the 16th position here tonight. Good luck, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there you go. There's Zach Scott Nicky. 22 cars on the grid. Oh my goodness, these things are turning into a dumpster fire, and I'm here for it.
This race is going to be sketchy with this many cars. Some of the drivers were hoping it didn't split, and a lot of them were hoping it did. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more carnage and a lot more cautions than we're used to in this series.
Quite possibly. Pace car is in. Green flags in the air. We're underway here at the Milwaukee Mile. Batista able to swing out, claim the top spot. Derek Love having to look down to the inside. He'll claim position number 2. Tracy Petter going to be side by side with Thomas Lewandowski. I mean, you can see it there. Petter already falling back. 1 lap of 80 very quickly in the books. Brandon Buckberger having to look down to the inside. He wants a piece of Lewandowski into 1. Watson's got to follow him through. That's something these guys are really going to have to watch tonight, Patrick, is you're not going to give up 1 spot if you get up on the outside. You're going to give up 3, 4, 10 positions before you get a hole to get back down.
Yeah, it's almost like all of these drivers like to pretend they're from New York, or as I found out today, Delaware is actually has the state with the worst drivers. It's not Michigan as I once thought. Regardless, these guys are not going to let you merge. So you really do not want to get out there and hung out to dry.
Thomas Lewandowski went from a top 5 spot back to the 7th position. Actually, he was up towards the podium. Brandon Buckberger, big move here on Josh Batista off of 4. And again, Watson just saying, thank you very much. I'll follow you right through. That's 2 for 1, a blue plate special.
Blue plate special. Is this some Kmart Animal House reference I'm not getting?
No, you've never been to a diner and gotten a blue plate special? It's usually like 2 eggs, 2 strips of bacon, 2, whatever. The blue light special was Kmart. That was a little swirly light that ran around in circles.
Yeah. No, see, from where I'm from in New York, we just have normal diners, and then if you want 2 eggs and some bacon and stuff, it just says 2 eggs and bacon, like on the menu. And that's what you order.
That's because you guys are weirdos. Oh, buddy, little bit of contact. Sliding outside. That's Zach Scott Nicky. Maybe a little bit of right side romance there from Laura Gerhardt. Laura getting him moved up the racetrack.
Going for the crossover, though. Zach's going to get it done on the bottom side.
Yeah, you basically just can't. It's not just about the short way around, but it's also the rhythm of the racetrack. You really have to find yourself that rhythm and make consistent laps. Otherwise, you might make up a little ground, but you're going to lose just as much going the other way.
Yeah,
oh, we've got trouble for Derek Love. Pick up the Hot Shoe Racewear Instant Replay. This was the battle for the lead. Buckberger down into 1. Oh, and Watson got into Love. D-Love slides down the bottom of the racetrack. He's able to get back up. The car doesn't look like there's too much damage on it.
Those guys have been having a little bit of a rivalry, haven't they?
Well, yeah, boy, it's not just a rivalry. It's also a points battle that these guys are fighting for as well. In the broadcast championship standings, Derek Love leading James Watson by 5 entering tonight's race. In the official series, James Watson leading Derek Love by 13 points, 12 points entering tonight's race. Both drivers have 7 weeks counted. So Watson holding on here towards the front of the field. He did fall back to the 6th position as a result of the contact. Elov now coming around Zach Evans. So he's charging his way back up towards the front. Brandon Buckberger is opening up the gap. It's out to 1.6 seconds. Good fight for the 2nd position, though. Josh Batista, Jeffrey Stanton nose to tail. Something we've talked about a lot in the Sim Racers Club races on Wednesday nights here, Patrick. We've seen guys like Kevin Dick run out to big leads, and all of a sudden, towards the end of the run, everybody's catching back up to him. Could we be seeing something similar out of Brandon Buckberger here tonight?
I think we absolutely could be. There's no reason to push that hard and get to that much of a lead when there's the possibility of cautions bringing everyone right back up to your rear bumper. You need to just take the Prost strategy, stay out there just as far as you need to. Maybe hold the gap at half a second. Just far enough where they can't make a sneak attack on you if you do have a little mistake. But pulling out to this far of a lead, you're just burning your equipment up for no reason.
Well, the other part of that, though, was there was the contact between Watson and Derek Love as Buckberger made the pass for the lead. That kind of opened things up. It kind of built the gap organically, and we're seeing it hold right about 1.5 seconds. This almost could be best of both worlds for Buckberger. You get...
I would even say...
Excuse me.
I would think back off of it a little bit. Save the equipment then. Save a little bit extra. So if you do happen to get a caution towards the end of the race, you can guarantee you're going to stay in the lead.
Yeah, because the other thing is these drivers do not have a set of tires in the pit box. So even if you get a late race caution, you say, hey, I'll come in and I'll change. You know, used to be you would come in and change like a right rear, a right front, just one tire. Now, that's just not an option here in the officials. You got to make them last. And this is not a short race at 80 laps in length.
Yeah, it's 80 miles of racing with a track surface that's probably 100 years old. I don't know if they've ever repaved this place. Probably at some point. But it's old track surface. It's bumpy. It's flat. You're putting rubber down like it's on clearance.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to see as the race develops here as well, is you're going to start seeing that rubber get laid down into the corners. Maybe not as much early in the race, but definitely the later you go, you're going to start to see that lane rubber up, and maybe they have to search just a little bit for grip off the bottom.
Or better yet, it's going to keep cleaning off the bottom, and all those marbles are just going to get shoved up to the higher and higher lines. So if you get off of the bottom, it's going to be like driving on ice.
Yeah, we will see that. The way the marbles fill in on these racetracks is not necessarily true to the real world. Where, like when the Indy cars would run here, if you got kind of like 4 lanes up, we'll see somebody off the wall. That may have been Ben Carswell. But you got like 3 lanes up off the bottom and you would start to see marbles. But it was clear all the way around the far outside of the racetrack. Here, they sort of build in top to bottom, it feels like. It's close, but not quite perfect.
Yeah, and it's very hard to simulate marbles. What am I, from Long Island?
You have no marbles!
Just because you can't model every single particle without having like a NASA supercomputer or something. So it's kind of estimating where the marble's going to be. And like you said, it's close, but it's not perfect. And I think it's close enough where it penalizes you for running off the line. So it does its job. You want some marbles with your coffee? Your water?
Yeah.
I thought I would be sitting all alone at Dover today. Somehow, I got sat next to a bunch of Long Islanders. It's like, really, I leave the great state of New York, leave Long Island, and I can't escape the people.
Yeah, apparently the accent's coming back, too. I left Long Island.
Long Island. Take the train to the city.
Yeah, that's right.
And be miserable about it the entire time. If anyone's watching from Long Island, send all hate mail to, just pull up the graphic.
Yes, you can send the hate mail to Bizzle at nationalracingnetwork.com. Taking a look a little bit here deeper in the pack. This is going to be Robert Reynolds and Zach Nurenberger battling for the 16th position. One of the tighter battles right now on the racetrack. Move back up towards the front here a little bit, though. Pick up the race leader, Brandon Buckberger. The gap was 1.7 seconds. It's now down to 0.2 as we approach lap 25, now working lap 24. You wonder if this isn't a case of Buckberger kind of backing things down, as you mentioned. Although Jeffrey Stanton is really quick.
Did you see how loose and how tail happy the car at Buckberger was coming off of turn 2? I think he's having an ill-handling race car problem now. Must have overheated the right rear or something.
Yeah, best lap for Buckberger is a 27.316. Last lap, 27.530. Jeffrey Stanton's best lap is a 27.241 to a last lap of 27.47. So about half a tenth or so quicker that time for Jeffrey Stanton. But now Stanton can just hang out. He doesn't have to make the pass yet. Buckberger's still pushing.
One thing to note is you do have a weight jacker in these cars that you can dial in the handling of the car a little bit with. So Buckberger's probably trying to tighten the car up, but the farther you go to the tight side, the slower the car is. But not spinning out and not hitting the wall is a little more important than going as absolutely fast as you can, so it's definitely a trade-off that you need to make.
Yeah, I think that's we're going to see kind of the rest of this race here. I mean, we're only approaching the halfway point. But a race that is going pretty quickly here, though. Only, about 10 minutes into this race? Maybe 12? And we're already approaching the halfway point. You talked about carnage. We've had none so far.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I talk about carnage, and they don't wreck a thing. I talk about how clean and green the race is going to be, and it's a crapshoot.
That is correct. The other guy to follow here as this race moves on is Josh Batista. Sat on the pole for tonight's race. Got back a little bit as a result of that incident between Watson and D. Love. But he's starting to make up a little bit of ground, and the lead is starting to open back up again as well. Last time by, Brandon Buckberger a full 0.2 faster than Jeffrey Stanton.
Yeah, so Buckberger must have found some kind of speed in that car, and maybe he was just charging up the batteries to launch back off again.
Yeah, I mean, a place like this, when we talk about it being a rhythm track, you miss your mark. It almost is like it sets you back for 2 or 3 laps, because mentally you're going, God, how do you make a mistake like that? And then that kind of compounds your mistakes, and all of a sudden you've given up a second. And then you get back into your rhythm, and you just kind of keep moving. You get back onto your pace.
Yeah, it's just like if you're playing in a band and you miss one note and the whole song falls apart just because you screwed up your whole rhythm. Instead of getting right back into it, you kind of have to stop yourself and reset.
Yeah, your drummer misses a beat. It screws things up. Speaking of bands, we'll give them a shout out here. The fine folks that hooked you up with some tickets for today's race at Dover. Thank you very much, Triple Rail Turn. Find them online at triplerailturn.com, I believe is the
It is. I
website.
double-checked that before I made my thank you post.
But yeah, they will be performing up and down the East Coast all summer long. So find them out when they're in your area. Kind of a country cover band, tribute band. They're fun. They are definitely a good show to go check out. Actually, we had one of the band members was repping the all-new nice Superbird NRN shirt that will be coming soon as part of our merch drop we do here in the next few weeks. Repping that on stage at a NASCAR VIP function down at Dover this past weekend. Pretty cool. I'll tell you what, man, Jeffrey Stanton is right there. The thing that's fun to watch about this is just knowing these two guys. Brandon Buchberger is very passionate. He wants to be on the chip at all times in these races. And Jeffrey Stanton is like the silent assassin, man. He will just hang out, and as soon as you make a little mistake, he's going to pounce.
Yeah, he's almost like a kung fu master, just waiting to see you make that little slip up and just going for you, taking you down right there with one punch. Wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off.
Oh, man, coming around lap traffic. Wow, big save there. I believe that was Derek Watson going a lap down. My goodness. At this point in the race, 3 cars being scored 1 lap down. That's Doug Rice, Forrest McMullen Jr., and Steve Protzman. There's no way that's the Doug Rice, is there? We'll have to look that one up after the race. Doug Rice, one of the NASCAR play-by-play voices for the Performance Racing Network. Also, Derek W. Watson being scored now 2 laps behind your race leaders. Good battle here, a little bit further back in the pack. Let's pick up Stephen C. Thompson, Joe Gauthier. They're getting the job done down the back straightaway. Thompson moving himself up into position number 12. We talked to Ben Carswell earlier in the race about having to pass a bunch of cars. He's passed a few. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bunch yet, but he's up to the 10th position. Oh, and we've got caution on the racetrack. First time tonight. We are under yellow.
See, I told you there would be a yellow in this race. I just thought there would be a lot more by halfway.
Pick up the 22 of Forrest McMullen. Oh, he got it up on 2 wheels. Big hit. Oh, and he buried it.
Yeah, that almost looks like when I was a kid playing with Hot Wheels. I'd ramp them into the side of the house, and then I'd bury them. 100 years from now, archaeologists are going to be digging up that house, looking for dead bodies or something. Look for Jimmy Hoffa, and they're just going to find a bunch of Hot Wheels cars.
Bissell's going to be calling the FBI tomorrow saying, I know where Jimmy Hoffa is buried. I'll give you an address. And they pull the Hot Wheels car up, and it's just going to have the name Jimmy Hoffa written on it.
Yes, yes, it is. Oh, man.
So, at the halfway point, Brandon Buckberger is your race leader. Followed by Jeffrey Stanton, Josh Batista, Derek Love, and Tracy Petter. Let's see if we can't get a quick word in here with Derek Love. See if we can bring him into the booth here with us. And D-Love, you had a little bit of a, we'll say, a bump and run from Mr. Watson earlier in this race. Car doesn't look to be too damaged. Great recovery drive so far.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to do a favor to let Brandon get back up there, from last week, and I saw James fill in the hole right as I turned left, and little collision. So I think I drove it pretty good to get back into some track position, though. So we'll see how it goes on the restart.
I was going to say
you're ahead of Watson, so.
Well, yeah, and now you've got a restart to play with. That's the big one here. You could really make up a bunch of ground here and have yourself up towards the front here.
I think so. I mean, I don't know how any of these guys have been driving. I couldn't really see them. Josh was coming back to me a little bit, but I couldn't see Brandon or Jeffrey. So we'll see what happens. Car felt okay, so hopefully it hangs in there.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here, and drop back down to the booth. And yeah, I tell you what, this has been a fun show to watch up front. Let's see. Actually, we're not going green yet, so let's bring Brandon Buckberger up into the room here with us as well. Brandon, the car looks like it's running really well here thus far tonight. You're out front. D-Love giving you a little bit of love, trying to pay back the issue from last week. But, man, you probably would have earned it on outright pace anyway at this point.
Yep. We'll just see what happens here.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. Hopefully we're talking to you again up on the podium.
Sounds good.
You can tell he is so focused.
I was just going to say, a man of not many words.
It's the Kimi Räikkönen of the Silver Crown Series.
Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Do have to give a big shout here. April is now over, so we're going to run this paint scheme one more time here on this May 1st. But Driven to Save Lives, visit them at driven2savelives.org. Over 100,000 people are waiting for an organ or tissue donation in the United States right now. Whether it's a living donor option or making your wishes known to your family, it's important. Visit the driven2savelives.org. They can get you all the information. Pace car going to make the wickedly hard left-hand turn onto pit lane. Quick to the throttle. Buckberger, he go. What's Jeffrey Stanton going to do down towards turn one? Josh Batista on the outside. Here comes Love looking up the middle. Man, Tracy Petter kind of sticking the nose in there too.
Oh.
Wow,
Tracy
great fight
Petter
off it too.
Absolutely missiling it down in the turn two.
I'll tell you what, James Watson doing a little bit of the same here. If you're going to try to play the points game, you can't let D-Love get too far out ahead of you, especially in terms of the iRacing Championship, where it's not just a static number of points per position. It's kind of based on strength of field and a number of other things. He's got to stay close to Derek Love.
Yeah. Now, the good news for James is this race, since it did not split, has a lower strength of field than if it did split. So this race counts less than the other races, but you still can't count it out and just consider it a drop week. You still have to go out there and try and win the thing.
Yeah, and there's still, quite frankly, a fair bit of racing left to go here. Oh, man, that was Josh Batista having to look inside down the back straightaway. Inside of the three of Thomas Lewandowski. A little bit surprised that we haven't seen more out of Thomas here tonight. Brandon Buckberger continues to hold on to the race lead. He and Jeffrey Stanton have an 0.8 of a second gap over third place Tracy Petter. Oh, we go! One around. That's going to be the 8 of Brian Elmore. We are under caution again. How did nobody hit him?
Skill, magic, and luck.
Pick up the
Mostly
instant
luck.
replay here on the 8 of Brian Elmore. It's off of turn number 2. Oh, he
had
got
help.
some help. Ben Carswell,
Woo!
Punterino off of 2. That almost feels like one of those incidents, and we talked about it the other night, I think it was, where the incident happens and you actually can't see what's the incident coming, even if it's somebody that's just checking up.
Yeah, we discussed that in the TNT series. There was an incident like that where just not expecting a car to be so slow and just rear-ended him.
Well, you talked a little bit about carnage. I don't know that we've seen a ton of outright carnage in this one, but we are starting to see these yellow flags. James Watson, you can see him all the way down on the apron trying to keep those tires cool. Now you could start to run into the issue of heat cycling these things a little bit. If you go super long run followed by 2 or 3 short blasts, that could make these guys' life hell with about 10 to go.
Yeah, these cars are not going to want to turn, and you're going to see a highline race, not by choice, but just because they're all going to have to Chastain it around the wall to make the corner.
Well, let's see if we can't talk to Mr. Watson here as we are under caution. And James, we see you trying to do your best to keep tires cool here on the inside. Are you starting to worry about heat cycling a little bit with these 2 back-to-back yellows like this?
You're always worried about heat cycling. It's just completely random with this tire model. Heat cycle roulette, we always call it. So you just hope every time it falls in your favor. But as it is, like, tire heat is the thing you're worried about the most. So that's the good thing about caution, is that it gives you an opportunity to cool it down and give you some sort of grip for the last run, which we all need, because grip is a premium at this place.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck. Hopefully we're talking to you a little bit later on here.
It was open.
Watson's sounding more calm than we're used to hearing him as well.
I think somebody spiked his rent. It wasn't me. It was in Delaware. But somebody did it.
I know nothing. We're going full Sergeant Schultz here tonight. So, some of these guys starting to head up towards the wall. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We'll come back to green with 29 laps to go.
That means we're going to go green on lap 69, doesn't it?
I believe it does. Will be a very nice green flag lap here as they come off of turn number 4.
My math is wrong. We're on lap 70 right now.
So
Never mind.
Why do we let you talk?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I provide valuable input very rarely.
Oh my goodness. Green flag back.
Punching bag for the viewer.
Can confirm.
I deal with the keyboard warriors. Yes,
you are a hero, Mr. Bizzle. So back under green, I'll tell you what, the guy to keep an eye on now is going to be Tracy Penner out of position number 3. He's only about 2.5 car lengths back at Jeffrey Stanton as they get off at turn number 2. Watson having to look inside on D. Love into 3. Watson's going to be there. Now is Batista going to be able to follow him through? Watson up to position number 4. He slides just a little bit high. Tries to put the squeeze on Love a little bit off at 2. He'll be able to get the job done. Batista, maybe not so much.
Derek Love is going to be hungry just to pass Watson.
Yeah.
After getting a little shunt early in the race, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little shunt to get back into the 4th position.
Oh, Love's going to be there. He's almost to the back bumper into 3. Man, Watson really able to get the power down quick, though. These guys are going to lose sight of the race leaders if they're not careful. And I would imagine that's kind of the hard part for Watson and D. Love here is you can see the leaders up there. You don't want to have to go too soon. But, man, at some point, though, you got to start making your way to the front.
Yeah, if you're faster, you got to get around and you got to start chasing those guys down. Watson with a little bit of a bizzle going up to the top side. Derek Love is all over the rear bash bar of that car of Watson.
Yeah, he's right there. Oh, man, we got a battle for the race lead, too. Jeffrey Stanton inside of Brandon Buckberger. And Buckberger going to fall back to 3rd as Tracy Penner follows right through. That would be big for Jeffrey Stanton. We have not had a true victory lane interview with Stanton in quite a while.
Someone's in the wall. It's going to be Buckberger.
Yeah, it's all
Saves
little.
the car, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of kick the dust up. That's the hard part. You give up the spot, you get yourself a little frustrated, and all of a sudden, without even noticing it, you're making things bad to worse just with unforced errors.
Yeah, you start seeing red, and only one of 2 things happens when you see red. You either go wicked fast and drive the car like you've never driven before, or you start making a ton of mistakes, and it's very, very hard to recover from. There is no in-between. There's never an in-between.
Oh, D-Love making the move on Watson into 3. Batista's going to be there. Oh, Watson up to the back, and they make contact! Watson, D-Love's around, Watson, big contact!
Here's the carnage.
Oh my goodness, Thomas Lewandowski flipping wildly down the back straightaway. And for the second time tonight, contact between James Watson and Derek Love leads to issues, and this time it's big damage on both of those race cars.
Oh, man, I'm going to need to see a replay of that one.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Here's the replay. Off of turn number 2. Little touch.
Watson had the run, went for the bump, and stayed on the bumper for too long. You can't really bump with these things because there's one big pointed arrow on the back of these cars. It's not really a flat spot to hit them.
Yeah, and let's take a look at it here from the NRN drone. There it is, just a little bit of contact. Got him twice, in fact. Oh, and Watson got drilled by Lewandowski. That's big damage at both ends of the race car. One more here. Let's take a look from the cockpit of Thomas Lewandowski.
Oh, nothing he could have done there. Double whammy. Oh, man. Hit the red button one more time, that would have been a triple whammy. Jeepers.
Skyground, 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 Skyground.
I really hope he's not in VR.
So, Derek Love still on the racetrack. James Watson, not so much. He is on pit lane. However, Love currently in the 17th position. Watson in 19th.
You know what? But it's still positions for Love that he's going to get over James Watson and try and build a lead against him in the points championship.
Yeah, this has become a drop week for Watson.
Even in that damaged race car, I think Derek Love has enough talent to at least get up maybe 5-6 more positions before the checkered flag drops.
Yeah, down to 15 to go. It's at least going to be a shot. However, I don't know that it's going to make much of a difference. Now, in the broadcast championship it would, because we don't have drop weeks. But you're kind of so far back that it really doesn't make a huge difference. Thomas Lewandowski entered the championship third in points. He was 67 back of the race leader. So it was a 2-horse race for the broadcast championship. Oh, man. This one's going to be tight the deeper we get into this one. In terms of the overall championship, Josh Batista was only about 100 points back. He could actually make up a lot of ground here. But we are now in week 8, which means we're going to start factoring in these drop weeks.
Yeah, because you can drop a race like this, especially for Watson not doing so good, sitting way back there in 20th now. And even for Derek Love, just because this is going to be a low strength of field race, so even if he did do good, this could still be a drop week for him. So it's not the end of the world for either driver, although it is going to be incredibly frustrating, and I wonder if that rivalry is going to continue next week. Maybe with Derek Love on the giving end instead of receiving.
Yeah.
Oh, these shunts.
Green flag back in the air. Buckberger already having a move on Petter. It's not going to be there into one, though. It's going to let Jeffrey Stanton get a little bit of a jump, but man, what a great line through the corner by Tracy Petter. Next time by, it'll be lap 69 of 80. Petter going to have the look. Well, he thought about looking inside. Not going to be there into one.
Very nice lap 69. I thought this was a 100-lap race. So my math before was even farther off than I thought it was.
Almost as good as your call for Martin Truex Jr. to take 4 tires today at Dover.
Well, yeah, did you see? I don't know if the TV showed it. He had like a 15-car gap entering the pits because there were so many lap cars between him and the rest of the field. He had no need to take 2 tires. He could have taken 4 and at worst come out of the pits third.
And instead, he took 2 and won the race easily.
Yeah, I wouldn't say easily. Chastain was all over him.
Bizzle now speaking in Morse code.
There's a reason I was sitting in the stands drinking a beer and not on top of the pit box. We'll just go with there.
Ben Carswell getting around Steven C. Thompson for the 5th position. Oh, man, Thompson could have the look right back, though. They'll drag race down the back straightaway as your top 4 are all nose to tail. Now, inside of 10 laps to go for your race leader, Jeffrey Stanton. The gap's only about 1/10.5 as they get to turn 1. Oh, baby, Tracy Patter, new fastest lap of the race, 27:40. Now, if you're Tracy Patter, do you want to try to make this move early? I believe they do have 1 overtime attempt, but still, my gut tells me even if you're going to get another caution flag, you want to be out front.
Yeah, track position is everything here. As we've seen, whoever's been the leader on the restart has pretty much kept the lead for at least 10 laps.
And here's Petter down to the inside to turn number 1. Stanton got to fight back. He's just got nothing there. Jeffrey Stanton may have cooked those Hoosiers. Oh, buddy, what a run. Wow, great drive off the corner for Stanton. Oh, Petter slides high. There's almost contact. Drag race to the line. Who's it going to be? Petter by about 87 thousandths. These two starting to battle it out are bringing Brandon Buckberger and Josh Batista into the conversation. As Stanton dives inside, Petter going to give him the spot. He's got to clear back down inside and does. Big corner exit speed for Tracy Petter that time.
Looking up the inside, not going to have anything there this time.
Yeah, that was not quite close enough. I'll tell you what, though, that car of Jeffrey Stanton is starting to push wicked bad now.
I just want to talk about Derek Love for a second. I said he could get maybe 5-6 spots. He's almost in the top 10 sitting there in 11th position.
Oh, one of those lead cars may have been Stanton, scraped the wall. Buckberger looking inside of Stanton to 1 with 4 to go.
Stanton absolutely did scrape the wall. You can see a little bit of right front damage on that car.
Now, did Brandon Buckberger save enough to get past Tracy Petter? And he's going to have to deal with Stanton. Man, if I'm in Buckberger's shoes, I don't know that it's worth it to try something to get the win here.
Other than keep going as hard as you can and see if an opportunity presents itself. But yeah, third place finish is nothing to scoff at. So.
Well, it would be a second place finish tonight. But, man, Tracy Petter starts to come back to him a little bit. Petter tries to cover off the inside lane down the back straightaway. Petter slides a little high through 3 and 4, almost like kind of diamonding the corner off, just a hair. White flag is out, 1 to go here at the Milwaukee Mile. Down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Buckberger going to be 3 car lengths back, but he'll get a good run mid-corner. Twin checkers in the air. Tracy Petter gets the win at Milwaukee. Followed home by Buckberger, Stanton, and Batista.
You know, if you would have told me before this race started that we would have 4 cars in the checkered flag shot, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have said, nope, not a chance.
They weren't side by side, but I don't think it's possible to do that in Milwaukee. And I say that the next time we shoot a race in Milwaukee, we're going to have a 6-wide photo finish, and we're just going to prove me wrong again.
Well, they almost did, quite frankly, because Tracy Petter got the win by 0.3 of a second, but it was only a half second back to 4th place, Josh Batista. So let's take a look and show you your race results here for this one. Tracy Petter gets the win by 0.3 over Brandon Buckberger. Jeffrey Stanton holds on ever so slightly to finish in the 3rd position. Josh Batista and Ben Carswell round out the field. How about the run from Ben, gaining 11 positions here this evening? Zach Evans, Zach Scottnicki, Steven C. Thompson, Laura Gerhardt, and Joe Gauthier will round out your top 10 here tonight. 11 through 20, Derek Love, Brian Elmore in 12th, 13th to D11, 14th Robert Reynolds, and 15th Zach Nurnberger. Scott Holder 16th, Doug Rice 17th, Stephen Protzman in the 18th position, Derek Watson 19th, and James Watson finishing in the 20th position here this evening. 21st tonight will be Thomas Lewandowski and Forrest McMullen Jr., the first car to go out of the race here this evening. Let's bring in our race winner here tonight, Mr. Tracy Petter. And, man, I'll tell you what, the car was good, but it seemed like you did a whole lot of saving at various points in that race because you had enough tire left at the end to make that really interesting.
Yeah, I was going to save till halfway. I did a Richmond race, and I felt like I was blowing a tire almost. So ever since that, I've just been saving the halfway.
Yeah, so talk us through the rest of the night, because once you got to that halfway point, you started to get a little bit of caution help as well, that you didn't have to push the car as hard to try to make up a ton of ground.
Yeah, it really helped me because I didn't have to push the car to catch them, so I was just starting right next to them. Well, it was really tough. I didn't think I was going to get Stanton.
Yeah, Jeffrey was up front, and he defended hard. It was kind of interesting to watch him. Almost seemed like he was developing the push of the tires going away. Is that what you were noticing from your perspective?
Yeah, it looked like he started getting tight and wasn't able to get on throttle as quick.
Well, I tell you what, brother, good run tonight. Congratulations on picking up the big win here in the iRacing Silver Crown Cup. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, I'm going to give my shout out to the Hawk Chassis. So got me that win tonight. But it's all right. Thanks for putting this on, and it's a good race on everybody in here.
All right, buddy. Thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us and check in for just a minute. Bring up a guy who I almost want to say might be a little disappointed in a second-place finish tonight, but Brandon Buckberger, congratulations. That was a great run. Car was just outright fast this entire race.
Not fast enough.
It's tough. We can hear the disappointment in your voice. Off of that final caution, is there anything... Was there a moment where you said, damn, if I could have done that differently, even before you got to the white flag lap? Because it looked like Tracy was kind of starting to push a little bit. I think everybody's car was a little ill handling, though, by the end of this thing.
Yeah, once Jeff and Tracy got by me, it was done. So I'm here for blood and trophies right now, and I got neither tonight.
That's fantastic. All right, brother. Well, hey, we enjoyed the show you put on. You led a ton of laps tonight. The car looked good. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, just want to thank National Racing Network for the Driven to Save Lives paint scheme. We're running this for a couple more weeks. I hope to get a win. You know, I was going to get one last week, but still got dumped, so still mad at that one. So.
Something tells me you got one coming here sooner rather than later. But congratulations once again, brother. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. And let's bring in our third-place finisher here tonight, Mr. Jeffrey Stanton. And I'll tell you what, brother, the car looked good, and it had to feel good up front because we haven't gotten to do these Victory Lane interviews a ton with you this season, and you look damn spectacular tonight.
Yeah, the car felt good. I was just overdriving at the end, just trying to get back by Tracy, so it was just all on me there.
Was that one of those? We've actually made the comment that it looked like you were starting to develop the big push. Is that what you were feeling behind the wheel, that just there was no more tire to turn on?
It was more I was working the weight jacker big time, trying to get to not push out of two. So it was a little bit of that, and I probably just missed one more adjustment on that, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Every time I'd take some out, I'd burn the right rear off too. So it was an easy balance between the both.
Well, I tell you what, I think you nailed it about as good as anybody was going to nail it tonight, because it seemed like you, Brandon, Tracy, even Josh were all pretty close on pace. Fantastic show tonight. Thank you much for coming to hang out with us here in the booth. And before we let you go, do some of those sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, I want to thank Napa Rockwell, everyone else that supports me, and y'all for broadcasting, as always.
Yeah, brother. Well, thank you much. We appreciate the kind words there. And, man, I'll tell you what, Bizzle, as we go back to the live look here, that race was more than what I expected it to be.
Yeah, that was an incredibly fun race at Milwaukee. Usually I see Milwaukee on the schedule, I think snooze fest, but it was not a snooze fest tonight. I'm excited to see, I believe the NASCAR Truck Series is coming back here too this year. So
yep,
hopefully it's going to be a fantastic show. Might be a reason for me to get up to Wisconsin. Or Milwaukee's in Wisconsin.
Yes, it's in West Allis, Wisconsin, at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. The place is full of bratwurst. Of course there's a reason for you to get up to Milwaukee this summer. But
that, and I want to fly in and see the Welcome to Cleveland that the guy painted on his roof and continues to maintain for the last 40 years.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. All right, everybody, it's time for us to get the heck out of here, though. We've got Fast Masters Racing coming up, IR01s at, I believe, Auto Club Speedway. If you're interested, hop into the open hosted sessions over on iRacing. Tomorrow night, we will have the TNT Shock Series. Wednesday night, it will be the Sim Racers Club. Thursday night, the U.S. Open Wheel doubleheader. Bizzle will be at the controls for that one, which is mildly disturbing. And that's going to wrap up the week for us until Sunday. The Spec Corvette broadcasts are coming to the east. A North versus South Challenge race at Virginia International Raceway. We're doing it in the real world. Oh, this was going to be fun. I can't wait to get some more of these Spec Corvette guys out there. But until then, time for us to get on out of here. For Patrick Byrne and everybody here at NRN that makes these shows possible, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. See you later, everybody.